Alrighty, it's another day at Unitech Engineering as a mold making apprentice. I'm Isaac and I work here. So today we are doing some 3D modeling. No machining today, but we are basically preparing to make a program to make these cooling inserts. And my previous video I was working on these cooling inserts and I got through a couple of the slots, made a couple of the slot features for all the inserts, but then I noticed that if I kept doing it this way, that there were going to be so many setups and it was going to be very annoying to do. So what I decided to do was to make a fixture so that I don't have to set up every single time when I have to make a new cut, make a new slot. So this 3D modeling on SolidWorks, this is basically the first step for me to make the fixture, and I'm going to basically use this. Well, first I'm going to figure out exactly where I want the slots, and then I'm going to extrude that into the cooling insert 3D model that I had before, and then I'm going to use that to design a fixture. Then after that, I'm gonna have to get that model of the fixture. I'm going to machine that fixture with Mastercam, make a program for that, and then I'm going to use the cooling insert 3D part, and I'm going to put that into Mastercam with the fixture, and I'm going to make programs with those parts. And so that's going to be a whole process, but it doesn't take too long because making this part, the cooling insert, all the slots, took me like 30 minutes or so, and then making the fixture 3D model another 30 minutes. So but then doing that, looking back on it, because I'm doing a voiceover kind of in the future, so looking back on it, it saved me about 3 days of time, because there's so many angles to this cooling insert, or so many slots around this cooling inserts. So anyways, I'm going to start explaining what I'm doing in this video. And as you can see, I'm kind of looking at the sample part, the finished part on my left hand, and I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to model this. And right now it looks like so what I'm doing is I'm using the planes, the front plane, to make another plane that is exactly on the surface of the side of the part. And basically I know what the diameter of the part is, so I probably inputted the distance that plane 4, as you can see, is going to be from the front plane. And what I'm going to do with that plane is I'm going to use it to make a sketch, and I'm going to use that sketch to extrude cut the slots. Now I don't know what I'm doing right here, to be honest. I think I'm just thinking. I'm just trying to get a different viewpoint looks like I'm measuring the depth of the part. I think I'm just making sure that when I extrude, I don't go too deep to where I go through the wall and into the middle of the part, the open space, the hole. But let's just see what I do. Looks like I'm making a sketch. On the bottom surface of the insert. Honestly, I don't know why I'm doing that. I can't really see what I'm measuring because the camera is can't really see towards the bottom of the screen, or past the bottom of the screen, so I'm just gonna wait and see what I do. Oh, I see what I'm doing. I am making a little slot, and as you can see, there's a circular shape there. I'm going to make a slot for the so these inserts need to be secured into the core, and they can slip out if they don't have a bolt clamping them down. So that little slot that I'm gonna make is for a bolt head to clamp down on, and you'll kind of see the feature as I make it. Right now I'm making sure that the radius of the sample part right there it is, making sure the radius is what the radius is. Ooh, gotta work on that camera angle. I'm pretty sure the radius was a 1/4 inch. As you can see, this is the bolt. Ah man, I wish the camera angle was better. Apologize for that. I'm going to fix all that in the future. Still getting the hang of making content. So as you can see, that's what that feature is for. So that bolt head, that screw head can fit into that area and clamp down and secure the cooling insert into the core. As you can see, those are the cores right there. I didn't really show it that much, but those are the cores that these cooling inserts will go into. Surrounded by me are the rings that the core will be combined with. Those are stripper rings, by the way. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just seeing how far in, how wide the slot is. or how deep the slot goes into the part rather. That's what I was measuring for. So anyways, that feature is done, so I'm going on to the next thing, which is all the slots around the insert. And I've already done the easy ones, which is the front and the back. And now I have to do all the other ones in between. And I'm pretty sure I'm just trying to figure out how to sketch all around the insert. And at this point, I'm not a expert at SolidWorks. I can use it to make 3D models and draw molds and stuff like that, but I'm not like an expert or anything like that. Like when it comes to complex surfaces, that's a weak point. At this point, it's a weak point in my SolidWorks skills. So I'm sure there is an easier way to do it than the way that I did it in this video. But this is the way I do it. I just make planes all around the part, making sure the planes are at specific angles, and I just use them to sketch out the slot. And then I use that sketch to extrude cut the feature into the side of the insert. And it's a very simple way to do it. So right now I'm using one of the planes as a reference, and I'm just, as you can see, angling it and making a new plane with that plane. And this is basically what I do for all the slots. And as you can see, I'm not really making an exact location. I'm just kind of eyeballing it because this is a cooling channel and it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be off by a few thousand or even like 10,000. So I'm just kind of measuring with my caliper and then trying to figure out where I want to position this slot. And yeah, just using the main eyeball method to see if if it just looks like it'll look like the sample part. And right here, it looks like that little, if I extrude cut into the part at that with the sketch at that location, it's going to make the wall, that little piece, that little thing, I guess I'm just gonna call it a protrusion. It's gonna make it too thin. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm going to change the angle of the plane. or actually that's what I thought I was gonna do, but looks like I'm sketching it at a different location rather than sketching a new plane. Now I'm trying to figure out the depth of this slot, what the depth should be, and to be honest, it doesn't really matter as long as the water can flow, or so. In this case, we're gonna put a piece of brass into that slot. So as long as the brass fits into that slot and it's not too deep and not too high, to where the brass can fit under the surface of those, let's call it ridges, then it's fine. So that's just what I made sure of when I was measuring. I was probably measuring the brass piece to see the diameter of it, to see how deep I could go. And I probably went 5-10 thousandths deeper than the diameter of the brass. If the brass was gonna stick out, like let's say I made that slot 5 thousandths less deep than the diameter of the brass piece, then we would need, when we put the brass piece on and we put this cooling insert into the core, it wouldn't fit. So we would have to like kind of hammer the brass down and be annoying, and that's the reason why I just go a little deeper than the brass piece. So it looks like I made that other slot pretty easily. I'm pretty sure I mirrored it because the slots are mirrored. The angle is the same, but to the opposite direction. Just making another plane to make the next slots. I'm just trying to figure out the exact angle that would be good for these next slots. I'm using the same reference plane that I did for the previous slot. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it just to make sure that when I make the sketch and extrude cut, it's going to look like the sample part. I know that this isn't like a precision machining. They're just cooling inserts, but it's necessary. Not all parts of tooling and mold making is precision work, but there's a lot of thought that definitely goes into the entire mold. This is just one tiny part of the mold, and there's still so much thought that goes into it. So anyways, let me get back into explaining. So what I'm doing, what I pointed at, is I'm just looking at the flow of the water. As you can see, just kind of like pointing out how the flow is going to be. So there it is, the next slot, and I'm probably going to just mirror that like so. I think I didn't mirror it. I think I actually used the linear pattern, or circular pattern rather. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I used circular pattern. So that I did not use mirror. I used circular pattern. Have a little water. Throw it in the trash. Okay, so the next slot, or that slot, is complete. Time to go on to the next one. Ooh, it's gonna be a little bit there's going to be basically 6 more slot, or let's say angles for the next features. I guess you could count it as 3 because I'm just gonna do one and then circular pattern it. And but yeah, there's so many angles. I think total there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 12 different angles for these slot features on this cooling insert. So if I were to do every single angle, make a setup for every single one, it would have been, as you can probably imagine, very annoying. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm saving myself a lot of headache, a lot of time. And do you know what would have saved me even more headache and time? It's getting a 4th axis rotary table. But we don't have that currently. We plan to get it in the near future. But yeah, that would have been the best route. Just get a 4th axis rotary table, make a little pocket fixture, a little pocket, so that we can just make sure the cooling insert goes in and doesn't move around, clamp it down, and then do all the slots in one go. That would have obviously been the best, but fortunately we do not have that. Okay, so anyways, I'm getting into the next slot. So it looks like I actually just forgot to do this one. Or no, I think I film these videos and then I do a voiceover maybe a week or 2 later, and I kind of forget exactly what I did that day. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. Because if the angle of that slot that I was doing is the same as the one above it, that one that I just clicked on, if it was the same, then I should have just done it on the same. Oh, I know why I'm doing it with a different sketch. It's because the depth is probably different for both slots, for either slot, and so if I want to extrude cut and use the same sketch, I can't really do that because I gotta make them different depths. So that's probably why I'm making a different sketch for that slot. Looks like I deleted that. Maybe I'm gonna eat my words. We will see. So I'm setting up both of these sketches to extrude. And let's see what I do here, because I thought that the depths would be different, but let's see what I do. Yeah, as you can see, I'm probably checking the depth right here. I'm thinking, is that okay, or do I need to go a little deeper? In reality, it doesn't really matter, because as long as there's a flow, enough space so that the water can flow, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. But if I want to make it look exactly like the part, I'll see right there, as you can see, I made it a little deeper. Let's see if I keep that, or if I make two different sketches. Maybe I can just move the face up with direct editing. Oh, it looks like I just kept it, so interesting. Maybe when I do the program, I'll just make sure the depth is doesn't go all the way down to what I extruded cut it to, but I'm just going to make a set, adjust the depth on Mastercam. Right, looks like we basically redid that little slot up there and we just added a that big slot, the wide slot, I should say. Now it's time to make a new plane for the new slots that are at a new angle. All right. So there's the next slot right there. Let's see if I change that angle. It looks okay to me though. If it's all good, I'm going to circular pattern it. There it is. Adjust the angle so it's in the right spot. There we go. It looks good. I think we only have one more slot to go. Oh, actually, I think I'm done. As I see myself stretching and probably gonna take a break and bring it over to Mastercam and finish up the programming. But for now, we have successfully made a 3D part of our cooling insert. If you are looking for a quality and reliable mold making vendor, our contact is in the description below. We'll give you a free quote. Thanks for watching.